Hello and welcome back. This is The Lost Adventure, and today we're going to be going over another basic fantasy RPG adventure called A Matter of Justice. Now, we had intended to finish Fortress, Tomb, and Tower, but that is taking a little bit longer than we expected. So for now, we're going to be doing this quick and easy one, which is from the second Adventure Anthology's book, and was designed by a man named Dave Gerard. Now, it was written for 4 to 6 characters of levels 3 to 5. We would actually suggest levels 4 to 7, personally. And the story it gives is that the players were sent to assist a guard captain to help investigate the killing of the previous guard captain. You see, the previous guard captain was investigating a case of what appeared to be just some minor tax evasion by a local prominent businessman. Unfortunately for her, she ended up figuring out that it wasn't just tax evasion, it was corruption, bribery, an entire black market, and it involved over half of the town's business people. And as she was on her way back with all this new information to put into a report and pass it on to the Duke, she ended up dying in some random freak explosion outside the market that nobody knows how it happened. Now, local rumors suggest it was the work of a local separatist organization, but the new guard captain was also pretty smart, and with his investigation, he ended up connecting the dots and finding out that there was an entire corruption embezzlement thing, and followed the previous captain's trail, and then ended up trailing some of the suspects to their hideout. And this is where the players come in. Now, the book says the guard captain wants to use the PCs to raid the compound so they don't tip off the rest of the conspirators that the local authorities are on their trail. This would make sense if the story continues, but it doesn't. The author does advise that it was created for his campaign, but it could be easily planted into any other campaign. So, with that in mind, let's see what we have in this adventure. We have the old abandoned mine, that's the hideout. There is a whole lot of level 4 and 5 fighters, a lab that is producing alchemist fire, and an opposing party of NPCs. This could be used as anything. It could be a bandit's camp, a survivor's place, a crazy scientist lab. You could exchange the alchemist fire for some sort of narcotic drug that is currently causing an issue. It could be the local Thieves Guild headquarters. It's a pretty good template, in my opinion. Now, Gerard includes a couple of ways the guard captain could meet with the PCs also, using the basic meeting in the tavern, or the more interesting way, to arrest them on trumped up charges so he can meet them in a secure location like the jail and advise them of the things that he's figured out away from the prying eyes of the public and any possibly corrupt individuals that may be watching. And all of this ends up leading to the mine, which only has 13 numbered locations. Now, we like this little adventure. It's super modular and you can place it anywhere. Beyond these suggested levels, everything seems pretty balanced. Onwards to the map. Point number 1, the entrance. Congratulations, you found the first trap. The double doors open outwards. The players will also notice that there appears to be a lot of new construction around the door, strengthening the frame and generally just beefing up the entire door. Unfortunately for the players, that's not all that happened. The door frame is bigger because the bandits, burglars, blackmailers, whatever you want to call them, have decided to place a guillotine trap in the middle of it. The first player through the door has to save versus death ray, or maybe a DC 15 dex save for those of us using Dungeons and Dragons for this, or be hit by the guillotine, causing 6d6 damage. Now, how could they avoid even setting up the trap? It doesn't say, but maybe only opening one of the doors out of the 2 doors will make it so it doesn't fall down. Or, I don't know, shove something up in the gap above. Maybe it's set off by a floor plate. Think of this before your players, set it off. Now, after the players get through the front double doors, they'll have to make a decision. Go left or go right. For this, we'll go right since that's the numerical order of the things. This is room number 2. Room 2 is full of, general goods and food. Nothing really useful like armor or weapons. But right here is room number 6. Players will hear the sounds of people talking and eating as they near the door, but we will go over that door when we get to the room in numerical order. Back to the entrance. We'll now go to the left where room number 3 is. This is like a really large hallway with a well right here at the end. It's actually full of, nice cool water, but there's no real magical effect to it. It's just a well down here. And of note are these little sections here that are all numbered 4. These are supposed to be ambush alcoves that have an ongoing illusion spell that makes them appear to be empty. So like if a person was outside of these alcoves, they wouldn't see anything inside of them. But if somebody was inside of it, the players wouldn't be able to see there's somebody in it. They would just be able to step out. It doesn't really make much sense to us. I mean, why would you even make it appear empty? Because people would still want to go in there to go check. So maybe changing it so the illusion makes it appear there's a wall there, or if non-magical things are your sort of like thing to do, you can just put like gray blankets covering the entrance that kind of blend in with the gray of the wall itself. Now, down these stairs is number 5, which is a kitchen. Inside of here, there will be 3 level 4 fighters wearing chainmail and equipped with short swords that are currently cooking. And they will be surprised by the players, and then a fight will ensue. Now, once this fighting goes on for 1 round, the people in room number 6 will hear it, and they will then enter the fray. And since we mentioned room number 6, let's go ahead and talk about room number 6. This is a dining hall, and this will be the first tough fight for the players. Currently eating in there is 4 level 4 fighters in chainmail with short swords, a level 4 cleric, and a level 6 halfling fighter. Like we said, maybe levels 4 through 7 are more appropriate rather than levels 3 through 5. If your players had gone the other route and, entered from the hallway to room number 2, they would instead fight these 6 individuals, and the 3 people cooking will then intervene after 1 round of combat. Now, supposing the PCs have defeated these guys and they go around this way, they will observe a very deep crevasse in the ground and a drawbridge on the other side. The author realizes that players will attempt to do many questionable things, so he's included AC and HP values for the rope for the drawbridge. And he's also suggested that the crevasse is occupied by all sorts of disgusting, nasty beasties that are very dangerous. Now let's go back to 3. Now, instead of going down the stairs, let's suppose the PCs decided to cross the bridge that's right in front of them. They will find that at its midpoint, a barricade manned by 4 level 4 fighters in plate mail with long swords and longbows await them. What the players won't know about is the level 2 halfling thief that will be sent to room number 9 over here to warn its occupants of the invaders. Once past number 7, the players will have 2 choices: down to the left here or into room number 9. Room number 8, which is where they go down, is the armory. It's full of regular standard gear like chainmail and other armor, and maybe fill it with whatever you'd like for your players to find. But it specifically notates that there is 2 quivers with 20 plus 2 arrows in there. This little aisle here, that's in like the dotted lines here, goes under room number 9, and we will get to what its destination is later. Instead of going down to room number 8, let's see what happens if the players go to room number 9. Room number 9 is occupied by 5 masked individuals who represent the shadowy organization known as the Sapphire Crown, and are a party of evil NPCs. It is also occupied by 6 level 4 fighters in chainmail with short swords, and they also have alchemist fire. These men will cover for the 5 masked individuals as they make their way out of the room to escape from the players. If the halfling from number 7 has actually made it to room number 9, these 5 individuals will actually be on their way out. However, if the halfling didn't make it, there is a chance the players could surprise all the people in this room and get the drop on them. Either way, the 5 masked individuals are going to go to room number 10, and they'll open the trap door right here, which will go to the end of the hallway that was outside of room number 8. Just past room number 10 is room number 11, which is an unoccupied lab with 10 finished bottles of alchemist fire. Now, there's also the lab gear inside there for like making more alchemist fire, but none of it's finished, and there's an entire part where he's included how things can go bad if players make poor decisions in this room. Back to 10. The PCs have scared the NPCs. The NPCs run from 9 to this little trapdoor in room 10, where they then run to room 12, which is supposed to be the barracks, and is also where the drawbridge controls are for the drawbridge seen from room number 6. Unfortunately for the NPCs, a couple of giant barb snails have climbed up the chasm and are currently snacking on the 2 guards that were supposed to be here. Now, here's the stats for a giant barb snail. Now, after seeing this, the NPCs have decided that the better option is to turn around and face the player characters. These 5 NPCs aren't horrible. We have a level 5 fighter, a level 4 magic user, a level 3 halfling fighter, a level 3 cleric, and a level 2 thief. Now, under each one of these characters' stats, the author has included a little blurb telling you what their name is and what their actual business they're running that's part of the black market smuggling ring they have going on, which would make it easier for you to create a scenario involving all of these businesses if that's what you choose to do. Now, these 5 people are the only real members of this Sapphire Crown organization. Everyone else inside of this hideout is a hired mercenary, and they can be convinced to give up should the PCs be able to produce proof of death of the people that hired them. And that's really it for the adventure. The only real complaint that we have is the levels seem a little bit too low, but you can easily work with that. If you want to make it for levels 5 to 7, easy enough to do. I mean, you can also decrease it if you have your players at levels 2 to 3 or 4. Just decrease what the level of the fighters is. Those are the most common ones. Most of the fighters are going to be level 4. You reduce them by 1 or 2 levels, and you reduce the levels of the NPCs to correlate with what you feel like your players can deal with if that's your thing. We like this little adventure. I mean, you can pretty much throw it anywhere, which is sort of our thing. We like modular adventures that we can just throw into our gaming world, that we can just put on a quest board to have the players deal with. With that done, we will go to the ratings. For an adventure rating, we're going to give this a 3. It's not bad, not extravagant, but it's good. It's not complicated, and it's not pretending to be complicated. Values a 5 out of 5. It's a free download, or it can be bought extremely inexpensively off of Amazon.com. I'll put the links down below. Well, the link's only going to be towards the website, which will then lead you to the Amazon links. Deadliness, I'll give this a 4. I mean, unless you're running the NPCs as bumbling morons, they could easily take on a level 3 to 5 party sent in here. Especially if your players just, wander in there without preparing at all. And with that, we end this review. We hope someone out there found this useful, and we hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.